up first, a deck we rolled out of the retirement home. Give it up for Branded. Put your teeth back in, Grandpa. And tonight they'll be versing Tearlament Kashtira, a deck wetter than cat's piss, and frankly, I'd rather drink the cat's piss.
Hello everyone and welcome back, and welcome to the first of a couple of matchups we're going to be bringing to you to show you what the meta is going to wrap up like post-Photon Hypernova. If you didn't guess from that super violent intro there, we are going to be seeing Bystial Branded versus Tearlament with Kashtira cards. Both received a lot of support in Photon Hypernova, which sort of changes how they play. I think we've got Branded Bystial that's going to be leading the matchup here, so let's tuck straight in now to game one. Bystial Branded leading with the Allure of Darkness there. I think they're just going to be testing the waters to make sure that all their other players go free, especially that all-important Branded Fusion. Banishing that Tragedy was not so much tragedy indeed, but a win, because they've got in the Edopro, which is going to force even more cards from the opponent, including the Tearlament's Happiness there, which has milled itself a Kelbeck, one of the new Shizu cards there from Magical Mavens. Magnificent Mavens even. I suppose they're magical in their own way. And then more cards here. Decent mills on both sides here. Seeing a huge string of chains coming up there. What is that? The yugioh happening. Tearlament Kashtira. We've got both Bystials activating here. Medora, that got milled earlier, is going to be shuffling back as well. Tearlament's player doesn't want any of those Bystials dropping. But I guess they're all going to be sticking in his hand for next turn. And who would have thought that Bystial Branded went first this game? Look at the field already. Tearlament's still doing their thing with 4 monsters on the board. What the heck is this? Searching Tearlament's Sharon for next turn. Rolling away. Here comes Kit Carlos. Kit Carlos going to search. Branded Red being dropped at this point, but it looks like it's just going to be forcing the Keldo there. Red resolves with no effect. Target's being shuffled away there. Carlos sending. Last name there. Going for a Dragoset Talia of all things. I feel that really should have been a Ru Carlos, but whatever. I mean, even though, look at that as well. The Branded players got Branded Lost in hand and didn't even activate it before the Branded Fusion. Who knows what's going on in this crazy match. One of the new cards down for the Branded matchup, Lindworm the Gunhammer Dragon. It does have a different name in the TCG, but it's an amazing effect, blinder of an effect, being able to negate a extract monster's effect each turn and bouncing a card back to hand as well. Branded White comes down, here comes that Branded Lost activating, and the Guardian Chimera sort of evening up the playing field, at least getting some more cards in the hand of the Branded player there. Cartesia will search off the Branded Lost, that's being able to search and summon yet another one of the new cards for the Branded deck, the Grand Guganul, the Finale Dragon. Great effect being able to send Albion from the extra deck to the graveyard. Can send from anywhere though, but here in the end phase, Branded is going to be resolving a ton of effects here. Get the Cartesia back, and they're able to set the Branded Banishment as well, which is going to allow them to fusion on his opponent's turn there. Cool. Primeval Planet Pearlarino activates. Charon comes down, milling another Kelbeck. This is going to force the Finale Dragon here to activate its effect to special summon Proskinian. That's part of its cool new effect there. Proskinian as well is really great in this matchup because it allows the Branded player to special summon Fusion Synchro, Xyz, or Link Monster and either banish it or special summon it to their side of the field. Big mills on both sides there. Proskinian targets. And that's going to force the Keldo here. Chainlink 5, none of this Chainlink 13 nonsense we were seeing last year, but still it's pretty impressive for games to get to this state here. Down comes the Kaleido Heart, taking the Proskinian, and that's going to... And that's going to trigger the Primeval Planet Pearlarino there, which is going to be tugging the back row there. I don't know if that's really the play, because they know what that card is. I mean, like, look, they still had a shuffle left in Medora there, which is able to turn it off, so I don't think that was the play at all. Alright, that's all going off here. Triggering the Elbow to come back here. Dark's going to trigger, take the Medora of all things. Now, this is where we see the absolute power of Gunhammer here. It can activate in response to any extra deck summoned monster here. But it doesn't have to bounce what it negates. It can bounce any card, so Kaleido Heart is going to be spun back to the extra deck here. Tearlament player just keeps going and going and going. And Kaleido Heart's back, but it's already activated its effect this turn. Tearlament making Diabolos here. I don't think that was the play. They do rip a Merjade the Ice Dragon from the extra deck there, but most branded lists are on too, so I don't think that's really an issue here. Oh, there goes Gunhammer, there goes Alaba. And Diabolos here attempting to activate its graveyard effect here. Well, field that affects the field effect that activates. I mean, effect on field that affects the graveyard here. Well, I mean, field effect that field effect that affects the graveyard here. I'm targeting the Lindworm here, but Lindworm has a special effect of its own, being able to target itself and an Elbaz in the graveyard. Special summon one and banish the other, so out comes Gunhammer once again. That thing's not going away anytime soon. So, a lot of resources played, going back and forth there. Two still decent fields played, but I feel that Branded Loss is what's really going to tip the tides here. Branded Fusion, Sprite Elf in response, Lindworm to negate the Elf, which triggers the Sully there. And here comes Druid's Worm. Any more responses? Yep, here comes a Keldo, shuffling everything back. There he goes to fight another day. Just the way this chain played out as well, I don't think either player was actually really expecting this, but the Branded Lost and the Fusion Summon coming down means the Kaleido Heart is not able to trigger in this thing, because the last thing to happen in the chain was the Fusion Summon, so Branded Lost prevents your opponent from activating effects here. So I believe Kaleido Heart is going to be stuck there for the rest of this game. Rebellion shuffling back, makes a Merjade. Got an Alaba to hand. Cartesia. There's a pretty hit again. Special Summon, Fusion. Guardian Chimera is back. Huge misplay indeed from the... I believe it was the Tearlaments player that shuffled it back with one of the shufflers for some reason. Don't know why. No, it wasn't. It was the Branded player himself who shuffled it back to summon Merjade there. Red Bear's going to send. Get rid of the Diabolos there. Branded Red comes down. Has the Alaba, banish those, make Masquerade, and this is going to be all she needs. Unless that's some miracle back row. Slow rolling a Mirror Force, maybe. No, we can see it is just a Meta Noise, so this means the Branded player is going to walk all over and take game one there. Right, with that sort of dominant display, let's get straight into game two.
Some idiot ended up losing the footage for game 2, but it happened a little like this.
Going into that all-important game 3, after the most technical of issues though, which did see the Tearlaments player just completely run away with the match in a blaze of glory. We're going to game 3 now. Branded Bystial obviously going to be taking the step up here. Both players have acted really well indeed. I believe this is Tearlaments' third game in a row opening Havness there. Somebody limit that girl. But anyway, let's get into the match now. Well, turn 1, game 3 of this match here. Branded Bystial versus Tearlament Kashtira. Serenade going to the graveyard, allowing to send Retribution. Branded Retribution there, which is going to allow for the setup of a lot of plays, especially if the opponent starts milling them. Rebellion discarded, getting the Magmoot. Branded Regain down. Target the Saronair. Sayonara Saronair. That gets banished. Magnum activating effect. Branded Regain. Putting him back to the bottom of the deck. Drawing another card. And then Branded Lost off the top. That is going to be a very important card in this matchup indeed. Albert comes down. Activating effect, which is Myth of Havness. Avernus gets one of those mills that like all Tearlaments dream of there. Not so much, but down comes Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos being able to search there. Sending Sharon to the graveyard. This is going to shuffle both back for a Root Kalos there. Little do they know that the branded player has Branded Lost already. Branded Fusion comes down. Root Kalos tries to negate. It can if it wants to, but it's not going to do a lick of difference because of Branded Lost. Branded Lost 1, Albion 2, banish those two for the Gunhammer Dragon, which we saw played a really important role in like taking game 1 there. Curia adding Cartesia, so the fusion summons just keep coming. Out comes Lebellion, being able to put more interrupts on the board in the form of Branded Beast. Branded Beast is going to go off now. And Rukalis tries to revive itself from the graveyard, but Gunhammer Dragon there is ready to go to say no thank you, not today. Bouncing the Alaba doesn't have to bounce an opponent's card, can bounce any card on the field, so Alaba would be some great follow-up going into turn 3 if we make it that far. Druidswim added off the Magnamut, and we see Lubellion setting Branded in red, so not a lot of monsters on the board, but there is a heck of a lot of interrupts coming from the Branded player there. See stomping into the main phase 1 for Kashtira Tearlaments there, and Kashtira Unicorn coming down. Branded Regained, Mercuria, Kashtira Tearlaments, Branded Beast, removing the Unicorn there. Magnamut Specials activates. Sharon, another godly mills indeed. Druidswim tries to activate, but Keldo there, Keldo the possessed statue. It's always a tricky one, like saying no to Bystials coming down, because unless you kill them that turn, that Bystial is still in hand for next turn, ready to interrupt, so really 50-50 call on whether you should be activating your shufflers at that point. Flurry of shuffles, managed to drop Kaleido Heart to the field, Gunhammer Dragon in response, negating the effect and spitting it back. And now for the all-important and some would call even special normal summon of Tearlaments Merly there. Milling 3 cards, oh my goodness me, and they've hit the Kelbeck. Kelbeck, 5 cards from both players there. Fusion summon off. Kaleido Heart is dropping down again, but she's already used her effect to fusion summon, so that's not going to be doing a lot of much. Going for Dark the Dark Gloomy Charmer. That's targeting the Albion, the Branded Dragon, to special summon itself. And Branded player targets the Branded in red. Activates the Branded in red, sorry, targeting the Despian Tragedy. And of all things, Medora is in the graveyard there. Tragedy, Lebellion, Pellerino himself. Back, shuffle, 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 both times. Okay. Branded red resolving without effect, and Albion getting special summoned to the field. Gunhammer gets attacked over for 500 life points there, which is going to trigger the Alaba in the graveyard to special summon itself out when a fusion monster is destroyed, allowing a nice little wall there for Branded to sit behind. Oh. Does he know? Does he know? Tearlaments player has just linked off the Albion and the Dark to make Elf, which is going to trigger the Albion in the graveyard. But yeah, we see all the in-phase effects now going off for the Branded player there. They resolve the Magnamut, just adding the Boldrake there, which is one that has not been activated this turn. Full track targeting the Merly. I believe it's the only level 2 in the graveyard that Elf can bring back, except for maybe that Dark. That could be a play. Branded Regain trigger as well for another draw. Draws Foolish Burial. Retribution banishing back. Add the Branded in red back to hand. He knows all the shufflers have been used that turn, so that's safe to do. Adding the High Spirits, for why not? He should be feeling the High Spirits himself sitting in this game state. I'll be on triggers and adds the Branded in white to hand, so a nice full lush hand for the Branded player going into this game. Draw phase now, we see the Druid Swarm getting activated, which is going to prompt the very early Keldo from the opponent there. I feel like this should almost just been let to go through. Shuffling back. He's shuffling the Dark of all things. Let's just have a check of the quick graveyard there. I wonder if he's got any other targets for that. He does not. Big mistake indeed. Shuffle the Dark back. But Branded Red's going to be happening here, which is going to trigger the Guardian Chimera. This is going to force quite a few interrupts, if anything, the opponent's got down. Branded Regain triggering, Branded Loss triggering, which is going to trigger the Branded Sullik. Yeah. Tribute that. Tribute off the Kaleido Heart, which is going to negate the Guardian Chimera when it goes to resolve there. Kaleido Heart special summons back. Filling a couple of cards. Branded Regained can now trigger, targeting the Magnum Engrave to special summon it back. And Mill Engrave to fusion summon. Those two go into Kaleido Heart. That's Kit Kalos, I'm sorry. Kaleido Heart there will be spinning back the Branded Regain, so the Branded player does not gain the Magnum special summon there. Do get a couple of mills here. 1, 2. Shuffle it back. See a Kit Kalos, and we're going to Dragocept Talia again. Finally, we're making it to the main phase here. Main phase, turn 3 of game 3 here. Feel like so much has happened. It's been an absolute wash here. Albaz normal summon, discarding the Foolish Burial. It's going to prompt the Dragocept Talia. Spriggan's Kick can now special summon herself and search for a normal spell. This can add the Branded Fusion, but I believe all Albazes are currently in the grave or accounted for on the field. Cartesia though, she can special summon herself, prompt the Fusion summon there. Get rid of those two. Here comes Mirror Jade. Branded White comes back. Those three for Proskenium. Mirror Jade's going to dump. Double Lenitos. Banish Kaleido Heart. She's gone from the game. Same Branded Opening. Put the Albion back. Only to draw Branded Opening again. Branded Opening though does offer a little bit of protection for the Fusion from Destruction effects though. Run over Kit. Run over everything. Bit of damage. It's not quite game here, but the writing's definitely on the wall there. Main phase 2, Proskenium will be special summoning Dragocept Talia. Cartesia adds herself back in the end phase. Lenitos will add a Branded Fusion. Is a bit useless, but what does the opponent know? Opponent is still in the game. He's still brave enough to draw a card, and they draw a yugioh. That's not really going to do it. But normal summon, running into Proskenium there. Wanting to fall on their own yugioh, as it were. Yeah, you better run Egg. But yeah, not quite enough damage, but this is just an easy wrap up now. Proskenium banishing the Sprite Elf just for a bit of bad manners. And passing it back to Branded Fusion, who just happens to attack directly for game. And there we have it. You see Branded taking out this best of 3 match for post-Photon Hypernova. Take care guys and stick around. We're going to be having the deck list coming up soon, as well as a special match next for the Kashtira mirror match. That's going to be a barrel of laughs, ain't it? Take care guys, and happy dueling, and watch out for more content from me.